learn how to write ads that make lots of money? Well, in this training, that's exactly what I'm going to teach you. So stay tuned, stick around. We're going to go for about 90 minutes, and I'm going to show you exactly how to profit with simple, tiny little advertisements. And we're starting right now. All right, guys, welcome to today's show. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk to you all about ad writing. How do you write an ad? How do you set up an ad? How do you get response from people that are surfing the internet? Now, I got to remind you that back in 1999, when I first started my business, I used to be a magician, and I found out that being a magician was kind of tough. It was hard to get bookings. I was trying to get shows. I was trying to make more money, and I was trying to figure out this whole thing of how do you get more people to do more bookings, more shows, everything like that. And so I came across an ad, as it were, in a magic magazine. Yes, that's right. We magicians have our own magazines. Crazy, right? So I found this ad, and it said, hey, do you want to get more bookings to your magic shows? And he said he had this whole full-page ad, and he said, write me, and I'll send you some letters about how to do this. And so I called him on the phone, and I was like, hey, man, I want to get more magic show bookings. I want more people to join my magic shows. I want more people to book me so I can make more money. And at the time, my advertisement said, magic, balloons, comedy, and fun, call Marcus. And then I had my phone number. And I ran that ad in a magazine. It cost me about $170 in the local parenting magazine. And off of that ad, I was able to make anywhere from $500 to $600 a month in bookings, which meant I put like $450 or $430 in my pocket at the end of the month. And I had to drive around and do magic shows, which I didn't mind, but it was okay, right? It was like, okay, I'm making a little bit of money, and hopefully this thing grows. And once I called that guy and asked him what to do, he said, you know, Marcus, what you need to do is you need to change your ads. And I'll never forget it because I called him up out of the blue and I was like, dude, I don't have a lot of money. I've been living on my own since I was 15. I got bills to pay. Magic is barely making ends meet. What do I do? And he said, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to teach you how to write an ad, okay? And I want you to write this ad. And when you change your ad and you get a lot of bookings, then I want you to call me and I want you to get one of my courses. I said, fair enough, man. If this stuff works, then obviously you got yourself a customer for life. And he did. He actually went on to work for Dan Kennedy as his ad guy, and I learned a lot of stuff from Dan Kennedy as well. So he said, hey, Marcus, change your ad from magic, balloons, comedy, and fun to make your child's party unforgettable. And I was like, okay, I'll do that. Right? I said, make your child's party unforgettable, make your child the star, all kinds of things, right? And we had these wordings on the ad. Now, the ad cost the same amount. It was the same $170, same amount. The ad was in the same magazine at the same time. It was like, I think, almost winter time at that time. And all of a sudden, the little ad that was getting me 5 to 6 shows a month now was getting me like 20 to 30 shows a month from the same ad. The only change with it was words on paper, which is crazy because you look at it and you're like, well, words on paper can change, can be the difference between lots of money and a little money. How does this even work? Now, this is one of the skills that you need to learn if you want to be a marketer, if you want to learn how to make money with affiliate marketing, with internet marketing, with anything. The key is words on paper, as Gary Halbert used to say, who I was listening to last night. Words on paper are the most powerful force in the universe. And I'm like, okay, well, wait a minute. Is that a little far-fetched? What's going on here? Well, you look at the history of language, and this is absolutely the fact. The words that we say make a difference. The words that we say make an impact. And you've probably heard the old saying that says, hey, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Well, that might be true on a first date face-to-face, but in the marketing world, that's not true at all. It's 100% what you say. And I gotta kind of bring this up to you in a real world example. Now, what we're gonna go through in the next 90 minutes, we're gonna talk about a lot of things, right? We got to talk about a lot of things. We're going to go through, we're going to look at a lot of things that are going on. We're going to look at a lot of things that are making money. But I got to tell you, what we need to do is we need to start writing ads that make people feel. We need to get people to feel an emotion. We need to get people to think. We need to get people to feel something so they take action. Because one of the things that's so easy in life, and all of you guys can probably agree, is that people are stuck and they like to feel stuck. And it's harder to move to the next place in life than it is to be stuck. And people like comfort, right? You take someone who's comfortable, kind of, unhappy but comfortable, and they're going to stay there. It's hard to get them to move. So just last week, I'll give you a little personal example here. Just last week, I was dealing with arm pain. I still am. And back pain. And so I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I start searching the internet, start looking for things, and all of a sudden, a clickbait ad comes up. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we can learn from clickbait. And we got a guy, Alex, here, who's saying all kinds of things about stuff. Alex, if you're going to say something derogatory about me, make it an ad. Okay? Make it a good ad. I want to challenge you. Whether you say good about me or whether you say bad about me, do a good job making an ad. Okay? Very, very, very important. So we got to look at this and we got to focus. Now, our goal of our ad is to get people to feel, get people to think. And there I was. I had this pain. I had this back pain. I'm like, what's going on? Is this just because I'm almost going to be 40 this year? And what's going on? Right? And I start looking up all this stuff. And then I forget about it. And then I see an ad. And this ad has a picture. And it says, warning signs of lung cancer. And a lot of you guys know that I smoke, so sometimes that is a worry. And the guy's holding his arm. Think about the power of that ad to a guy like me. Here I am reading the internet passively, checking my stats. All of a sudden, I see this ad, and my heart drops. And I go, oh, shit. Wow. How do we do this? How do we do this, right? And my heart drops, and I say, is this something I have? Now, it turns out you have to have a bunch of things, but I'm one of those hypochondriac guys who searches the internet endlessly to try to find out what's going on. I'm weird like that, and maybe you guys can agree. But how many of you guys have gone through and you're like, wow, I have seen an ad that has made me feel something, right? Type ad made me feel. If that's you, type it in the box, let us know. And we'll get the show on the road here and talk to you about how to write these ads. All right, and also let us know where you're listening from. And if our feed is still working, is it frozen or are we still going? I think we're still going. I think it might just be YouTube. Yeah, okay. So it's probably just the YouTube servers. Okay, a lot of people are saying they've seen ads that made them feel. Also, type in where you're listening from, and we'll go from there. Okay? Very, very important. All right, so we back? Type back if we're back. And if you need to, you can refresh and get that. Also, let me know what you think of the new setup. We have a new setup where we can switch back and forth. Really cool, right? I spent a small fortune to get these tools and stuff, but hopefully you like it. And a lot of people say they want to see my setup, so I'll show you guys my setup before we get started. Let me get this camera on here. There we are. So the new setup here is our fancy little video switcher. All right, pretty cool. I got my monitor here that shows me all the different views. And then we got our lights over there, cameras everywhere. Like that. And we have me. There we are. Right, so really cool. Pretty good setup. I like it. I'm happy with it. Hopefully you guys like it. All right, cool. So that's what we got. Let's dive right in. Now, how do we do ad writing? What's the goal of an ad? What's the goal of making this stuff work? All right. The goal of making this stuff work is to sell the click. All right. The whole idea of your ads is to sell the click. Get people to click. Very important. Okay. Now, we're going to teach you how to get the click. We got lots of words written down here that you're going to use in your ads. And then towards the end, we're going to go through and we're going to actually write some ads with you. We're going to show you how this works. And we're going to give you guys some templates that you can use to write ads. Because here's the deal. A lot of people put ads. A lot of people put junk. A lot of people have stuff out there. Okay? But a lot of things don't work. You see a lot of people on social media, they make a fancy graphic, they put a fancy ad, no one clicks, no one does anything. Is our feed working okay? I hope the feed's working okay. We good? Type feed if the feed is working good. We might have some connection issues here. All right. Okay, cool. Looks good. All right. Now, what we want to do The goal of our ads is to sell the click. So we need to learn several different things. These are things that I've used over the last 20 years that have made me millions of dollars in a really, really simple way. So we got to focus on that. We got to look at it and see exactly what's going on. Now, first of all, the first most important thing that I do, that I learn, is I learn random facts. You might say, well, Marcus, what does that have to do with ad writing? What does that have to do with anything? Well, learning random facts and knowledge is going to give you a leg up on the competition, and it's going to tell you something that your market doesn't know, right? So, for example, take that ad that was for lung cancer symptoms. All right? That ad had a guy holding his arm. I didn't know that was a symptom. That guy did a good job of an ad. How many of you guys agree? Type arm pain if you guys agree. Right? You guys agree with that? You're like, yeah, dude, okay. That ad did a good job because it had something that people probably have. Very, very, very important, okay? So we got to look at that. We got to focus. We got to say what's going on. Now, learning random facts and knowledge is very good because you want to learn statistics. You want to learn different knowledge things that people don't know. You want to learn things that people haven't heard of. You want to learn numbers. Numbers are very good. One of the things you can study is you can study the news. Don't watch it, just study it, okay? I study the news all the time. I watch what they do. You're going to see on most news stations, whatever news they're talking about is always breaking news. I don't care what it is. It could be like old lady crosses the road. Breaking news! Old lady crosses the road in Florida. Breaking news! This happened. Breaking news! Everything's breaking news, and they do that for a reason, right? They do that because they test it. They test with millions and millions of people watching this stuff saying, hey, this is what's going on. So you got to be a student of what's going on. You got to be a student of attention. As Gary Vee always says, we are day trading attention. That's what internet marketing is. You are day trading someone's attention. Just like TV in the old days when you had 5 different channels and you had to walk up and turn the channels and move the bunny ears, if you guys remember that type bunny ears. I am old enough to remember that, right? And you had a couple channels, and these channels would fight for your attention, right? They are literally fighting for your attention. They say, I want you to watch this. I want you to watch that. Why? Because the more attention you get, the more money you're going to make if you do it correctly. Now, some people out there go do stupid stunts and try to make money, and that's all fine and good. But what we're talking about is how do you do words on paper? How do you write an ad that's going to command attention? How do you write an ad that's going to get people to take action? How do you write an ad that's going to get people to click, buy, fill out a form? How do you do that? Well, you're going to start by learning random facts, learning different things about your market. Dive into your market. Start to understand what your market's about. Start to understand what your market's into. Start to understand what kind of things they're going to worry about. What keeps them up at night? This is important, right? You look at politicians. What is it that keeps the general public up at night? You hammer in on that, and you're going to win. Plain and simple. Ads. Hammer in on what keeps them up at night. So many people are doing passive ads. They're going out there. They're selling from their heels. They're waffling it, and they're just saying, hey, man, I got this really cool thing, and, I'm going to sell some cryptocurrency, and yay. All right, and then you see some guy who's just like a total hack job, and he says something like, here's a picture of my Bitcoin account or whatever, and I don't do Bitcoin. I don't know anything about that, but I know that some of those ads get response, and you want to watch it when you're on social media. Watch what people say. Watch what gets the most comments. Usually, it's something polarized or something that piques curiosity, right? If you can learn the art of polarizing, this is something. I don't agree with Donald Trump's policies. I didn't vote for him, don't like his policies, but as a marketer, the guy did a brilliant thing of polarizing people. Now, is that a good thing to do, like polarize people? No. But can you polarize facts? Can you go through and polarize an audience in a good way to get them to take action? Very good. You got to look at that. So learn random facts, find out what people are doing, find out what they do. Next, you want to appeal to the emotions. Now, you got to remember, I don't care who you are. I don't care how smart you think you are. I don't care how logical you think you are. Every buying decision, every major buying decision is all based on emotion. People buy based on emotion, and then they back it up with logic, right? I see this all the time. They're like, I bought this. Here's why I bought it. Here's why it was a good investment. And it's like, no, you bought that because you wanted to feel something. And then later you were like, here's why it's a good investment, right? Like I could admit it. I'm like, I'm going to buy a beach house and I want that because I want to feel good and I want to live in the beach, not because it's a wise investment, wonderful thing, right? I could justify it all I want, but the real fact is that's how I want it. When people buy fancy cars, they want the way it's going to make them feel. All right, so we got to appeal to emotions and appeal to curiosity. Curiosity is big. All right, people are curious. Here's another thing. This is a random fact that I'm going to teach you that you'll know, so you can put it in your database of random facts when you write ads. People in America are bored out of their minds. They're bored out of their minds. They go to work. The most interesting thing they do is like watch Game of Thrones, which I still am trying to get into. I don't know. I'm not a fan. But at any rate, people are into that, okay? And I guarantee there's probably going to be people here that are Game of Thrones fans that are like, hey, dude, what are you talking about? Polarize your audience, right? Very interesting. All right, a lot of people get on me for sharing my beliefs or my ideas. And it's like, hey, it works. Because here's the deal. I don't want just everyone. I want the people that I want. Advertising and writing ads is all about skimming a group of people that you want out of a big group of people. So you have a big group of people, the internet, and I want to skim people, right? I want to skim people off that I want, which is really, really cool. All right, someone says the primary camera is moving back and forth. Is it? I don't know. I don't think so. Looks nice and clear on here, right? So we got to look at that. Appeal to the emotions and curiosity. Number 3, and we got a lot to go through today, so you're going to watch this, take notes, pay attention. Number 3, use trigger words. All right, there's certain trigger words that you can use with your audience that's going to get them to take action. There's certain words that's going to stand out in their mind, and they're going to be like, whoa, these words are going to boom, they're going to click, and it's going to make people stop. Advertising is about making people stop, making them go through and say, I'm going to read this, right? If you say, hey, I got one shot and I'm going to be an advertisement on a page, what am I going to say? What am I going to say that's going to stand out from the other ads? What am I going to say? Well, here's a tip on what you're going to say. These words, I didn't count them, so I don't know how many there are, but let's get a nice tight shot of that one. I think 3. There we go. These words, I don't know how many, but these are words that you can use in your ads. These are trigger words that are going to spark an emotion, that are going to get people to think, that are going to get people to stop and read what you have to say. Now, when all else fails, you can start with how to, right? If you don't know how to write an ad, you write something like how to write an ad that gives the desire, how to write an ad that floods your bank account with money, how to write an ad that will have people calling you day in and day out, how to write an ad that'll sell your car faster than anyone on the planet or whatever, something like that. All right, so how to is a very good one. Another one is the truth, and I'll put a little dot by these so I remember which ones I said. The truth about diets and weight loss, the truth about arm pain, the truth about making money online, the truth about divorce or whatever it is, right? Does that make sense to everyone? Everyone get that? Where we're like, okay, we got to look at this and say, we could use something like how to. That's going to stop them dead in their tracks. We could use something like the truth about politics, the truth about this, the truth about that. Okay, does that make sense to everyone? Type yes if it makes sense to you. All right, cool. Hidden's a good one too. Hidden secrets of advertising executives. Hidden secret a 30-year-old woman used to lose 90 pounds after having a baby or something like that, right? The hidden secrets they don't want you to know about. The hidden secrets the mortgage companies don't want you to find out. Do you guys see how these are more emotionally charged than I'm going to save you $50 on your mortgage, right? Does everyone get that? Type emotionally charged if you're like, yeah, I get it. And this will revolutionize your ad writing in a way that sets you apart. And then you could go on any social media platform. You can go anywhere you want, write an ad, and get results. This is the key. The key to making a living online is understanding how to write an effective ad, understanding what to say, how to say it. Very important, okay? We got to look at that. We got to say, what are we trying to say? How do I get someone to stop scrolling, right? Do you ever, like when I'm in the movie theater, I I watch people. Wherever I go, I watch people. I was just talking to a girl we brought on as our new social media manager yesterday. And I was talking to her about sociology. She studies sociology and all this stuff. And I'm fascinated by that, although I don't know the big words and I never went to class about it. But I love studying human nature. I love studying what people do. I like watching them. And so there I was in the movie theater. I'm sitting there, and there's this group of people in front of us, and there's this person on their phone. And they're on their phone, and they're scrolling through Instagram. And they are scrolling through Instagram so fast, I don't even know how their mind could compute what they're seeing. I have no idea. It's like, how do you even see that? But that is your audience. Your audience is scrolling the internet fast. They get bombarded by stuff every single day. If you're on Facebook, they're bombarding their feed with ads, with information, with all this stuff every single day. Every day, we are getting bombarded by ads. So what are you going to say to stand out? What are you going to say to get someone to stop scrolling, stop searching? What are you going to do? Now, I got to tell you, this is important if you're doing banner ads. This is important if you have your own website and you already have traffic. This is important if you're doing YouTube, because your thumbnails need to stand out. You need to look at human nature. You need to understand what people are interested in, what people are doing. How do I get them to respond? And when you do this, everything's going to start to make sense for you. So we got how to, we got the truth, we got hidden, we got secrets. Secrets that the top lawyers don't want you to know about. Secrets of losing weight. The secrets of how to write an effective ad. Does that make sense to everyone? Everyone following along? Very cool. Secrets, excellent one. Next, we have sale. Everyone loves a sale. This is something I learned, but I didn't think about because I'm not a big person for sales. Like when the Black Friday and the Cyber Monday sales happen, I stay home. I don't usually buy anything. I usually do something else. I was never a big discount hunter, but this is one that I needed to learn, because here's the deal. A lot of this stuff you might not be interested in, but the majority is. Like for me, I don't like celebrity gossip. I don't care about it. I watch TV shows with my wife, and she's like, you remember that guy, Bob whatever? And I'm like, what guy? She's like, you know, that actor that's in this. I'm like, what guy? And she's like, the guy with the beard. I'm like, oh, the beard guy. Okay, cool. I don't pay attention to that stuff, but most Americans do. Most do. And we have to look at that, and we have to say, if most Americans are paying attention to this, then there's something I can learn here. If most Americans are looking and consuming this stuff, then this is what I need to learn. Why the hell do you think Proactive is like one of the top, or if not the top, acne medicine? Because they got celebrities endorsing it. Plain and simple. It could be like bottled water, and if a celebrity endorses it, they're going to get it. Very important. So we got to look at it. They got to look at it. African Flight Star says, I just want to make money out of the celebrity watchers. Good. There's ways to do it. Very cool. Lots of people look this stuff up. Very, very, very important. Okay? So we got, next we got new. New is a good one, right? New makes people think, what am I missing? Okay? Fear of missing out. I think they call it FOMO. Right? Fear of missing out is huge. Do you ever see people at a party that you didn't go to, and they're posting pictures, and you're like, man, I wish I went to that, or a get-together, or whatever it is, and you're like, man, I wish I went to that, or maybe a marketing conference, and you see everyone, and they're like, look how fun this is, and you have this fear of missing out. New does the same thing. It gives a fear of missing out where people are going to be like, hey, man, I don't want to miss out on what's new, because if there's a new way, like how many of you guys would come to a live training if I said new method makes $150 a day on autopilot and it only took 20 minutes to set up? You'd be like, whoa, Marcus has something new? Crazy. Let's check that out. Let's see what's going on. People respond to this stuff, and they respond like crazy. Very, very important. Okay, so we got to look at that. New. Another one is experts. You see this in TV advertising all the time. 9 out of 10 experts say that this works best. All the experts are wrong. What the experts are hiding from you about how to really lose weight. The experts are deliberately keeping this from you, and it keeps you fat. Think about that, right? How many of you guys are listening to these and you're like writing them down and you're like, wow, this makes sense. This is how to write ads. This makes everything work. Okay? Next, we have facts. Facts is a good one. Unknown facts that will help you do this. The fact that stops you from losing weight. The number one fact that keeps you from X. Okay? Very cool. Next, we have breaking. We already talked about breaking. Breaking is a good one where it's like, breaking. New method reveals how to make more in a shorter time. Breaking new law teaches you, or breaking new law saves seniors thousands on healthcare. Okay? Does that make sense to everyone? Cool. Revealed. Revealed is a good one. Revealed. The best way to lose weight. Revealed the best way to invest in your retirement. Revealed the top tricks the tax guys know to save you money. Right? Everyone following along? Type ad in the box if you're following along, and we'll start diving right into the next one. Let's see, where'd we go? There we go. All right. Hate. Hate is a good one. Don't personally like the word, but it does stop people in their tracks. Rich people will hate this new law. Poor people will hate what is happening here. If you hate this, then you'll like this. Do you hate this? ... Put a subheadline under it. Top things single parents hate. Top things kids hate to eat. Right? These are the kind of things that work. This is why when we talk about this, we have to tread a thin line between clickbait. Now, let me back up a little bit. Clickbait, the idea of clickbait is not a good ad. A lot of people say a good ad equals clickbait. No, a good ad is a good ad. Clickbait is when you don't deliver on your promise. Okay, so if I said secrets to making $150 a day, and I take them to a site that like says, hey, buy this thing, that doesn't really deliver on the ad. I need to tell them the secrets I was talking about. Now, when I get into it, I want to tell them the secrets in a way that gets them to buy what I want them to buy, but very, very, very important. Troy says we need more love, man, not hate. Totally agree, right? You hate hate. Do you hate hate, right? Think about that and look at how that made you feel something. That word alone has power. It has power because we made it have power. A lot of these words have power because advertisers made them have power, which is crazy, right? Advertisers literally hijacked the brain and made you think differently. And now we got to look at that and say, how are we going to look at that? How are we going to stand out in the world where so many people are vying for so little attention? Well, it's actually a lot of attention, but hey, let's keep going. All right, hate is a good one. Announcing. Announcing is a very good one as well. Announcing the newest way to make a living. Announcing, get this, announcing a better way to retire. Announcing the top 50 states you could retire in or something like that. Okay, very cool. Let's see. African Flight Star says the top 5 things you can do to make a woman love you. Instead, think about this. Does every woman hate you? ... This is why. They're going to click that over your ad 9 times out of 10. You got to think about that. Polarize it. Put some charge behind it. Put something in it that gets them to go, wait a minute. I need to think. I need to think. I need to make, I need to stop. I need to see why do women hate me instead of, oh, hey, you're going to get people to love you, right? Start to flip the script on it. Start to change the way you say stuff. Breakthrough is another one. Breakthrough, new method that stops acne cold. Okay, breakthrough, new method that'll help you lose weight. Breakthrough, new method that'll help you write better ads. Breakthrough, new method that'll do this, this, and this. Okay, everyone following? Type follow in the box. I know we're going quick, but I want to go quick so you learn the stuff. Okay, cool. Amazing. Amazing's a good one. I did some work years ago with a company that renamed their company to Amazing. They paid a bunch of money to get the domain name, made, I think, 9 figures off their business. But amazing's a powerful word. Amazing new results for people who want to lose weight. Amazing new results for people who want to save money. Amazing new results for people who want to pay their credit cards off. Very important. Also think about things that you can kind of switch around and get people off base. Because the idea here And a lot of this is brought from different industries where you're looking at like hypnotherapy, you're looking at psychology, you're looking at a lot of different things. And a lot of it was brought there where it's like, okay, how do we get people to stop in their tracks? It's known as a pattern interrupt. People are passively reading stuff on the internet. If someone's passively reading stuff about a certain topic, how do you get them to stop? How do you interrupt their pattern? How do you interrupt their thinking? They're sitting there. They're bored. They don't know what to find. They don't know what to do. How do I stop? Hey, you need to read this. If you don't read this, this is what's going to happen. This little thing will change your life. This little thing will change this. Very important to look at. Next, we have life. Life is a good word. This could change your life. Do you need to change your life? How to stop hating your life. How to start loving your life. Different things like this are going to make a big difference as well. Another one is protect, okay? Nothing is more important than a father or a parent than protecting something. You want to protect your investment. You want to protect your kids. You want to protect your livelihood, right? Protect is a very, very powerful word, right? How can you protect this? How can you protect that? Very important to look at. Another word, I use this as a headline starter a lot, which is yes. 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 You can learn to write ads and make a living online. Yes. You can lose 30 pounds in 2 months. Yes. You can fit into that bathing suit next month or by summertime or whatever it is. And then, of course, the last one everyone knows about, which is overused and abused, but still works, is the word free. Free report reveals blank, blank, blank. Okay? And you want to charge what the report reveals with a feeling. So free report reveals how to make ads. No. Free report reveals how to make ads that'll flood your bank account with money, get you more customers, and keep you rich for life or something like that, right? Obviously, when you do this, you want to make them truthful. Always do truthful ads. Whenever you use numbers, use specific numbers and use true numbers. Okay, don't go making stuff up. Don't go messing around. Be ethical. Be true. Focus on what works. Give them good stuff. Cool. Now, some other things you want to look at. When you're doing stats, got to pay attention to this because when you're using stats, if I say how to make $3,000 a month from home or how to make $2,754.98 from home, you're going to trust the second one way more. Okay? Very, very, very important. Okay? Got to look at that. Got to focus. I don't know which camera is tilting. Sometimes they have like an auto thing, but makes it a little fun. All right? Specific stats and numbers. If you're doing a date, use a specific date. How I made X amount in January. How I made X amount from January 1st to January 17th or something like that. How I lost 37 pounds in 29 days. People are going to be like, what? 29 days? 37 pounds? Okay? They're going to trust it more. They're going to look at it more. So use specific stats and numbers. Make your ads short and to the point. Short and to the point. Okay? Don't be too long-winded. Don't try to sell in your ad. Again, remember, your idea is to sell them on the click, not to get them to buy straight from the ad. So when you're doing a headline, we're getting them there, okay? What we're talking about today is ads to bring people to our site or ads to send people out, okay? So when we do ads to bring people to our site, we want to do the ads to bring people to our site and let the site do the selling. Now, when people are on our site, we're going to do these ads and we're going to use these to link to our affiliate offers. Okay, very important. We got to look at that. We got to focus on it because so many people waffle it when it comes to the text that sends people to an offer, and we don't want to waffle it. We want to make sure that we do something really good. Okay, short and to the point. The next thing, most important, is know your audience. Know your audience. What keeps them up at night? What do they think about? What do they feel? What do they desire? What do they want? This was a big thing when public relations started in America, like, I don't know, 100 and something years ago, with Edward Bernays, who was the nephew of Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud was over there in Vienna or wherever he lived, and he was talking about human nature, human desires, what do people want? And he was talking about this from a therapy standpoint. He was like, well, I think people have these repressed desires, and they want to live them out. And I think that's why everyone screwed up, or whatever it was he thought. Okay, a lot of his stuff, take it with a grain of salt. It's made a long time ago. And a lot of it's like, really, dude? Nah, don't think that at all. But the unconscious desire thing is very, very, very important. We have an unconscious desire to feel secure, to feel loved, to feel wanted, to feel relevant, right? You want to tackle the baby boomer market? Make them feel relevant. Think about that, right? A lot of people, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know this. You don't know that. Your time's come. You're retired or whatever. Feeling relevant, right? That's probably another reason the 2016 election went the way it did. It's like, hey, you guys are relevant. Whether he fulfilled on the promise is another thing, but he said they were relevant. And we're talking sales here. We're not talking beliefs or anything behind it. We're talking about what do we do? Very, very, very important. Lower ab exercises says sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. No, it's not. No, it's not. This is the same thing they learned in wine. With wine tasting, very few people can actually differentiate between an expensive wine and a cheap one. They've blindfolded experts. They said, tell us which one's the expensive. 50% of the time they get it wrong. So basically they're guessing. Why do they guess? Because it makes them feel better. They say, I have an exquisite taste. This exquisite taste means that I'm this way. Okay, when you're selling a cigar, you look at it and you're like, some people will spend more even though they really can't taste the difference because they all kind of just taste like tobacco anyway. Some of them feel different. Some of them are built differently. But think about that. You can sell expensive cigars by saying, you need a cigar that's as important as you are. You need a cigar that makes you feel like the king. Imagine coming home from work and you're tired and you strike up a cigar. Do you want it to be a cheap one that falls apart and makes you feel like a loser? Or do you want to feel like a king with a cigar that tastes good, feels good, and makes you feel like $1 million? Boom. That's how you sell a cigar, right? We got to look at that. We got to say, how do we change that? Because you can go through and you can say, cigar, won't break, tastes good, $9.95. Or you could say, cigar that billionaires use. This is the same cigar billionaires smoke. You want to be in the billionaire club? You want to feel the billionaire club? This is the cigar they use. There's actually a cigar brand that does really well. I think it's called something like Millionaire or something like that. Tastes like crap, but people buy it because it's called the Millionaire cigar, right? So we got to look at that. Know your audience, very important. If you know the cigar market, what do they want? What do they think? What do they feel? Why do they smoke? Very important. We got to look at this stuff. We got to focus on this stuff, okay? Another one we got to look at is a call to action. What are you doing to get them to take action? What are you doing to get them to take action? A lot of people waffle it when it comes to this. Ask for what you want. Ask for the click. You want to feel better about yourself? Click here. You want to lose weight fast? Click here. Do you want to buy this? Click here now to sign up. Or do you want to feel better about losing weight? Click here to sign up. Get them to respond. Another thing that's very important when you do your ads, when it's a clickable link, make it blue and make it underlined. Why? It's what we're used to. I know a blue underlined link is going to go somewhere. I know if I, instead of putting click, if I put click here to learn to lose weight now, that's going to get clicks. Very important. We got to study human nature. We got to study what makes this stuff work. And if you get it, if you understand this stuff, if it starts to make sense and you're like, okay, now I want to learn to write an ad in a good way. I'm going to get this stuff. I'm going to pair this up. I'm going to use what Marcus said. I'm going to get them emotionally charged. I'm going to use my trigger words. I'm going to use specific examples. And then I'm going to tell them to click. And here's a big thing. The big thing in marketing, let's switch cameras here. Big thing in marketing, let's use red because it's a big thing, is a reason why. Reason why. Just last week I did a webinar. We didn't launch it. I didn't make a video for it. I didn't announce it in a video. I just sent a few emails. And I was like, we're going to do this webinar because some of my employees have been working really hard and we're going to give them a bonus. So I'm going to do this webinar and all the proceeds go to them. And people signed up. Now, if I went and I said, hey guys, we're going to do a webinar. I want to teach you this topic. Go here to sign up. wouldn't have gotten nearly the response. Why'd I get a response? Because I gave them a reason why. Reason why is the key to damn near anything. Give them a reason to click. Give them a reason to buy. Give them a reason to keep reading. Give them reason. If you don't give them a reason, they're going to tell you the reason they're going to leave. That's what's going to happen if you don't give them a reason. So, give them a reason. Focus. Look at what they want. Say, this is why you're going to do this. We are having a sale because our taxes are more than they were. We're doing this because of that. I'm willing to teach this because I really like helping people, and it's also going to make me money, right? A lot of people don't look at that. Like, transparency in marketing is getting to be a must. Like, it used to be you could get away with stuff because it was only on TV, and it's like, whatever. We could be not as transparent. But now you have to be transparent. You got to be transparent. You got to be upfront. You got to be a straight shooter. You got to look at it and say, how am I going to be a straight shooter? How am I going to focus? How am I going to look at this stuff? What am I going to do? The key to good advertising, be a straight shooter. Be honest. Be upfront. Tell them why. Tell them what's going on. Tell them what you're thinking. They'll listen. A lot of people, again, they're bored shitless. They are bored out of their mind. Like, some people, the most exciting thing they do today is going to be read my ad. That's pretty sad, but hey, whatever. As long as I can provide them some kind of relief from their boredom or whatever, that's going to work. So study clickbait. Do some research, study clickbait, and look at celebrity gossip. These are very, very important ones you want to look at. Okay, very cool. Now, let's talk about some ad writing headlines that you can look at. So let's take this, and hopefully it'll stick up here so we can keep these notes. Excellent. All right, cool. I think you guys can still see that. And we'll get some notes for you guys as well. You make the USA sound like a very sad place. Well, I don't know if it's sad or if it's just conditioned. And remember that. Your people are conditioned to think certain ways, feel certain ways, look certain ways. Very important. Like, we have this idea, and this idea was programmed into our brain. You need to look this way. You need to eat this way. You need to feel this way. You need to drive this car. You need to have this house. You need to have this job. Very crazy. Like, you look at it and it's like, really? That's what they're peddling? And unfortunately, it's been going on for a long time. So our job is to reverse engineer that. So let's talk about some ads here. And then let's do some examples so that you guys can learn to write these ads. And then if you guys like this, how many guys on a scale of 1 to 10 or 1 to 100, 100 being you love this webinar and 1 being I hate this webinar, let us know. Okay. The note link, we will have notes up later. I don't know if they'll be made free. We're probably going to have them in our mentorship program. And what I'm going to do is, for everyone who's in our mentorship program, if you're not yet in it, you can go to marcusmentor.me. It should pop up on the bottom of the screen after the disclaimer thing. Marcusmentor.me. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to teach this stuff in detail on a webinar where we write ads together, and we'll actually help you write an ad for your site. So if you like that, join marcusmentor.me. You get a ton of cool stuff. We teach you every month. You get plugins, you get tutorials, you get training. It's ridiculous. You can cancel whenever you want. And it's less than the price of a cup of coffee a day, which is crazy, right? And I would say join, go through the webinar. If you like the webinar, I guarantee you're going to love everything else we have to offer because we're going to teach you a lot of stuff here, okay? Really cool. And that's at marcusmentor.me. It's going to be a special only for people who are members this month. So if you're a member 10 years ago, you're not going to get this. If you're a member next month, you're not going to get it. You need to be a member this month. There's a link down there, joinmarcus.com. Or no, that's not it. marcusmentor.me. marcusmentor.me. It'll pop up after that one. All right, so let's talk about how to write ads. Again, what we want to do is we want to look at our notes up here. Okay, I think you guys can see them. Might be a little far away. Hopefully you guys can see them. Tell me which one's better. Is that better? Or is that better? I feel like an eye doctor. Number 1? Number 2? Right? Cool. Chris says this is your best video ever. I hope so. Share it with everyone. So let's take a look at some ads here. Okay? We're going to use the templates, and we're going to use templates based on the trigger words that we have. Now, in the training that I'm going to give you as part of marcusmentor.me, we're going to give you a bunch of these, right? There's hundreds of them we're going to use, which is really cool. Okay. Okay, this is number 3. That's number 2. That's number 1. Which one do you guys want? Okay, so this is number 1 we're on now. Number 2, number 3. Tell me which one you want while we get started. Okay, so when we're writing our ad, you could use the trigger words in the middle, or you can use them as like different spots or different templates or whatever. So let's take a look at this. Most people are saying number 3, so we're going to leave it on number 3. If you can't write an ad, let's move this over a little bit. If you can't write an ad, start with how to. When all else fails, start with how to. Okay? How to blank to get blank. Okay? How to lose weight to feel better and fit in your bathing suit. Okay? How to make money, or how to create ads to get more money in your bank. Right? Does everyone understand the templates? Very simple, very easy. If you understand the template, I want you to type in the box a comment with a sample ad. Okay? Just make something up. How to lose 50 pounds to get your husband back, or whatever. I don't know. Think about something like that, okay? If you guys understand it, I want you to write a sample ad in the comments, okay? Another one you can do, let's do a different color here. Hidden secrets, the blank don't want you to know, so that blank. Hidden secrets the psychologists don't want you to know that will make you happy without paying a fortune with this stuff. Okay, let's see what we got in the ads here. How to lose your crazy girlfriend to get your life back. How to get your life back by dumping the crazy girlfriend would probably be better. Or got a crazy girlfriend? Here's how to get your life back. Okay, how to use ClickFunnels to get your dream car? It's all right. I would rather do something like how to get your car for free by promoting a simple little tool that practically sells itself, right? Because a lot of people, you're gonna alienate all the people who don't know what ClickFunnels is, which, I mean, it seems like it's big, but I think they have like 60,000 members, which is not super huge by any means. Okay, how to lose weight by eating the right foods. I would do that with like hidden secrets the doctors don't want you to know, and maybe not use doctors. Hidden secrets the weight loss industry doesn't want you to know about what to eat to lose weight or something like that. Okay, let's see what else we have here. How to get healthier with a small lifestyle change. You guys are doing okay. How to reduce the amount you drink to get more sleep. I think that's a little too rhetorical. It answers itself. Like, okay, well, I don't sleep or whatever. How to reduce the amount you drink, even if you've tried before and couldn't stop or something like that. How to get a six-pack to be swimsuit ready. How to get healthy with a small lifestyle change. Okay. Also, another fact to remember is that people will spend way more energy, time, and money on a cure rather than a prevention. Okay, preventions are hard as hell to sell. They're hard as hell. Like, preventions are ridiculously hard to sell. Like, I would venture to say that if it wasn't mandated to have car insurance, very few people would buy it because they don't think about prevention. They always think, no, this isn't going to happen to me. That's something to really, really, really look at, is most people will focus on a cure rather than a prevention. Okay? How to dress with a t-shirt so you could feel hot in Alaska. Maybe. Okay, so those are those. Let's take a look at another one. Let's do you hate blank? Here's how to blank without the first blank. Okay? Do you hate going to the gym? Here's how to lose weight without going to the gym. Pretty simple. Very, very cool, right? We got to look at that. Someone writes, how to make your income double. I like the old ad example, which was an open letter to people making $60,000 a year that want to make more. Okay, there's the link, marcusmentor.me. If you want to be mentored by me, marcusmentor.me. We have a live call every Tuesday, which is insanely awesome and insanely valuable. And as a bonus for everyone who joins today, marcusmentor.me, we're going to give you a in-depth live training going through this stuff, how to write ads in depth. And I got to tell you, this is the number one skill. This is a skill I use every single day. How to write ads, how to make money with ads. So, marcusmentor.me, sign up now. Join us on the live training. Cool. Okay, so do you hate blank? Here's how to blank without it. Do you hate eating vegetables? Here's how to stay healthy without it. Do you hate feeling fat? Here's how to eat without feeling fat or whatever. Okay? Let's take another one. Protect. How to protect your blank while also blank. How to protect your income without, or how to protect your income while also living the life you love or living the life you desire or something like that. Okay? Very, very cool. There's a good one. How to eat yourself thin in 14 days with this secret ingredient. Excellent. I like that one. You guys are doing a great job, by the way. How to lose fat without weights or going to the gym. How to find a trusted repairman. What about, do you hate shady repairmen? Here's a list of top repairmen that are good or something like that. Okay, do you hate being lonely? Here's how to beat loneliness without a date. That's all right. A little weak. Do you hate your body? Here's the secret to change your mind. A little weak because there's no connect. You want to rub in the feeling, right? If you're talking about hating something, rub that in, right? Don't like, if I came up to you and I was like, hey, wait, dude, this bad thing's going to happen. Oh, hey, check this out. Like years ago, I had this dentist, okay? This dentist, we would go into the dentist, and I got teeth issues sometimes. And I went into the dentist, and I have like an ingrown tooth coming in behind what's still a baby tooth. And I'm like, hey, man, what should I do? He's like, well, that could be a big problem if it goes unaddressed. And I'm like, really? What are we talking about? He's like, well, one lady had to have complete jaw surgery. And, you know, it was real bad. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, man, this sucks. And then he goes, you know, and then I say, what happens if I don't do anything? Yeah, probably nothing. Right? So this guy did this job of scaring the shit out of me and being like, dude, you like need to fix your tooth or the world's going to implode. Like that's how I felt at the moment. And then he waffled it. Like right then and there, he could have been like, and so for $10,000, I'll take care of it. And I probably would have signed up, right? But if he waffles, if he backtracks and is like, oh, well, you know, it's really not that bad, right? You want to rub it in. Obviously, again, be truthful, be honest. If you're doing health stuff, get a really good disclaimer. But focus on that, right? How to protect your this, well, also this. Let's take a look at some others. Breakthrough. Breakthrough. Method to blank while, or you could do instead of, while you blank. Breakthrough method to make money while you sleep. Pretty simple, okay? Very basic. So do you guys get the template idea here? Is this helpful? Type a 100 if it's helpful. Type a 1 if you're like, the hell are you talking about, bro? Okay, type that in the box. Let us know where we're at, and we'll continue on. Okay. Cool. All right, so those are the basic things we want to look at, the basic things we want to use as templates. Some other things we want to do is we really want to look at human nature and look at what else people are doing. Like, what are they doing? What are they looking at? Another thing is to look at example ads. Like right here I have a list of the 100 greatest ads ever written, which is debatable. There's been a lot of ads since then. But we have stuff like The Secret of Making People Like You, a little mistake that cost a farmer $3,000 a year. Advice to wives whose husbands don't save money by a wife. When doctors feel rotten, this is what they do. We could do stuff like, let's see. Imagine me holding an audience spellbound for 30 minutes. Kind of cool. New shampoo leaves your hair smoother, easier to manage. Where you could go in a good car, in a good used car. The kind of body you want. Check the kind of body you want. Now, that's a good one. Think about that. Okay, I like this. Someone comes to your site, and they just came from an ad. So let's say they come from an ad. You did a good job, and you wrote an ad. And it says, hidden secret to losing stubborn fat in 1/2 or 1/3 the time. Okay, so there's your ad. Yay, ... There's your ad. They click your ad. They go to your site. When they're on your site, instead of saying, welcome to my weight loss site, my name's Marcus, and I used to be fat, and I'm not fat. Lame. Instead, we have pictures. I'm going to try my best to draw these pictures. We're going to try. Try not to laugh at my pictures. And you got these pictures, okay? And you got this guy, and he's muscly, right? Super muscly. Super muscly dude. All right, this is our super muscly guy. And he's happy because he's muscly, okay? Then we have someone who's just kind of normal. It's like, okay, normal guy. Here's his arms. His arms here. And obviously you're going to do a better job of drawing. He's got his shorts on. Okay? And then you have someone who's like kind of fat. Looks like a duck, but that's cool. Kind of fat, whatever, right? And you say, so they come to your site. They just clicked on hidden secret to losing stubborn fat in 1/3 the time. Check the kind of body you want. Like, how many do you guys get that? If you get that, your affiliate marketing is going to be way better. And how many of you guys get that? Like, okay, I see how that's going to work. If you don't get it, type don't get it. Okay, I want to make sure that everyone gets this because it's super important and it's powerful and it's going to make a lot of sense and it's going to change the way that you market online. I don't know why this camera is going fuzzy on us. There we go. Learn how to draw stick figures. Yeah, you could do that. All right. All right, Mo said he just got an aha moment. Good, that's the key, right? You guys see how that's different? Do you guys see how that works? Very important, okay? So hidden secret to losing stubborn fat in 1/3 the time. So it's very important that you learn these little subtleties and learn what's going to make the difference and learn what's going to go through, right? For those of you that didn't get it, what we're doing is we have an ad here, okay? So there's two parts to the coin. Part one is your ad. Part two is your website, okay? Your website is pretty much content with ads. Like your content's supposed to get people into what you want them to buy, okay? So instead of having the ad go to like a content thing that talks about the secret, instead you could say click the body you want, okay? That's going to get a lot more people to click. Another thing you can do when you're doing banner ads, let's use a different color. When you're using banner ads, you can make this a banner ad. Okay? Imagine on all the fat sites about losing weight, it says check the body you want. Okay? And then down here you have like the little check boxes. How many people you think are going to click on that? Way more than that are going to click on other ads, right? This is little things we've tested with other ads where we're like, okay, how How much do you want to lose? Okay? Then you have this big drop-down box. And the drop-down box says 100 pounds. Okay? And then it could also say like 50 pounds, 100 pounds, 10 pounds, 5 pounds. Okay? That ad is going to kill the others. I know because I buy banner ads every single day. I buy them all the time. Okay, this is what you need to learn. You need to learn what's going to make people open an email, what's going to make them click an email, what's going to make them click an ad, what's going to make them click text, what's going to make them stop scrolling, what image is going to get their attention. Very, very, very important. And if you look at this, guys, this is how it works. This is how it works. And while everyone else is out there bitching about, oh, that's clickbait, it's not clickbait if you deliver on the promise. You have to deliver on the promise. If I send them to some bullshit, then yeah, it's clickbait. But if I go through and I'm like, hey, I'm actually delivering on it, then it's going to work. Now, here's the secret. Here's a secret people don't know. The secret is, and how many of you guys want the secret people don't know? Type secret in the box because I just gave you an ad. It's a secret people don't know. This is what people don't know. You can actually use these to mine the data. I can actually find out in my ad how much weight they want to lose. Think about that. So I run an ad, I get a bunch of clicks, I get a bunch of people to my site. Hopefully they're buying stuff. Even if they don't buy stuff, I still find out, well, 90% of the people on that website want to lose 90 pounds. Boom. Now you make one that says, here's how to lose 90 pounds overnight, even if you eat chocolate cake every day. Right? You think that ad's going to work? Yes. Why is it going to work? Know your audience. I can figure out, if you have a website and you have traffic, I can figure out what your audience wants in 3 days, unless you get one visitor a day. But if you're getting decent traffic, I can figure out what your audience wants in 3 days. If I figure out what your audience wants in 3 days, boom, I now own the traffic. Right? I could go in and I could buy as much traffic as you want because here's the deal. Lots of people do banner advertising on what's called a CPM basis. CPM means cost per 1,000 impressions. Okay, that's what that means, cost per 1,000 impressions, which means if I pay $50 CPM, which it's never that high unless you're on like Forbes, it's usually like $1 CPM, okay? If I do that, that means I pay the same dollar if I get 1 click or if I get 100 clicks. If I get 100 clicks, that means I'm paying a penny a click. If I get 1 click, that means I'm paying $1 a click. This is how I go in and I buy traffic for pennies. Everyone, Marcus, how do you get traffic cheap? There's no cheap traffic. Yes, there is cheap traffic. Why is there cheap traffic? Because people don't know how to advertise. They don't know how to write good ads. They don't know how to siphon visitors from a different place to go where you want them to go. Okay? Everyone getting it so far? These are the things that work. Right? Pictures of faces work. Download buttons work. Did you know that in an email, using the word download is going to skyrocket the amount of people who open it? Using download in the email text is going to skyrocket the number of people who click on the link. Right? Crazy. You got to think about these things. You got to know these things. These are the things that if you don't know, you're going to lose money. It's not going to work. Right? If you want to make money, you got to listen to your old buddy Marcus. Now, if you guys want to learn more about this stuff, I've been doing this 20 years. I think I know how to do this stuff by now. I'm not the best expert, but I think I'm pretty good. I can get some traffic. Then what I want you to do is I want you to go to Marcus, M-A-R-C-U-S, Mentor, M-E-N-T-O-R, .me. MarcusMentor.me. I want you to sign up for my mentor program. It's like $2.30 a day, which is nothing. Do you think my ad writing skills will help you make $2.30 a day? I certainly hope so. You're going to go over to MarcusMentor.me. You're going to get signed up. And then we're going to send you a link for a special training. It's going to be like a 2 or 3 hour training. I don't know how long we'll go. It just depends. And we're going to talk to you all about ad writing. I'm going to teach you as much as I can about ad writing. And we're going to show you how to write these ads. We're going to show you how to command attention, how to get people to respond, how to get people to take action on your site so you can make money. And that is how the cookie crumbles. Probably been watching too much of that Jim Carrey movie where he says that. All right, any questions about what we went over today? We'll take 15 minutes or so for Q&A, and then go from there. And please keep your Q&A on the topic at hand. Do the downloads apply only to desktops, or can they apply to mobile? They could apply to mobile. Yeah, like you can download a PDF on a mobile. Is this for high-ticket niche customers also? Depends on when you bought it. If your support has lapsed, then you will want to join at marcusmentor.me. Every one of my customers should have an active marcusmentor.me account. If you don't, you're missing out on a lot of good stuff. So, I mean, seriously, we're talking $77 a month, which is nothing. You get plugins. I think you get $1,000 or $1,200 worth of plugins. You get courses. You get a live call every Tuesday where you go through, you come on the call, you're like, here's my ad. And I'll be like, change it to this, right? Think about that. The difference between that guy telling me, the difference between my ad for the magic ad is why I got into marketing. So if that ad was what has made me millions of dollars, like what will it be worth to you to have me look over your shoulder, look at your ads, and help you with this stuff? Okay? So really cool. This camera, I don't know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Let's see. There we go. I think it's clear now. Is it clear? Is it clear? I think so. Okay, cool. What should the site content for health niche be? What should the site content for health niche? Well, health isn't a niche. Health is a market. You would need a niche within health. Are these techniques evergreen? Yes, they've been around since the dawn of time. Jesus used these techniques. And before that, like the Egyptians used them. Same kind of stuff. It's basic human nature. Humans don't change much. Technology changes, but the other stuff doesn't. Weight loss niche. Okay, we can help you with the weight loss niche, yeah. All right, Perry says it's been an excellent training that I needed. Thanks. If you like this training, sign up. That's your way of saying thank you and getting a bunch of cool stuff. So really cool. Let me see if I have the mentor commercial in here, and then we'll come back. So put your questions in, and I'll be back in just a few minutes.
You are watching The Affiliate Marketing Dude. Marcus will be back in just a moment. And now for a special announcement. Are you struggling with information overload? Do you need help making this affiliate marketing thing work for you? Want to find out how Marcus was able to start his first affiliate site with less than $100 in the bank and was able to turn his business into multiple seven-figure income streams? Need a mentor who could personally help you start getting results with your affiliate marketing? Tired of all the fluff and hype that gets you nowhere? Well, as I'm sure you figured out by now, you are in the right place. And if you like Marcus's videos and live training sessions, you're gonna love his brand new mentor program. MarcusMentor.me is a must-have for anyone who wants to start getting results with affiliate marketing fast. In Marcus's mentor program at MarcusMentor.me, Marcus and his team will not only give you behind-the-scenes video tutorials and professional PDF notes on all of his trainings, but you will also get access to his video vault selections each month, his personal plugin suite valued at over $784. But you will also get a free print copy of his Affiliate Marketing for Beginners book that will take you through all the ins and outs of how to start and run your affiliate marketing business. This takes out all the junk and gets you what really works. Even if you're an advanced affiliate marketer, this will help you get to the next level. And if you're just starting out, this is a perfect way to start getting results fast. And if that's not enough, Marcus will also give you access to his weekly private members-only live trainings to give you a space to ask questions directly and get answers instantly. Plus, get personal site reviews, and finally, get the help you need to make this business work for you. Sign up today, get all this, the printed book free, and a free Affiliate Marketing Dude t-shirt. That's over $1,000 in value each and every month, for less than the price of a cup of coffee a day. And even though we know you'll want to stick around for a long time, you can cancel anytime you need to by visiting PCMoneymaking.com. Super easy. So join today at marcusmentor.me and get all the tools you need to start making money online today with affiliate marketing. Go right now to marcusmentor.me, use the form to sign up, and we will see you on the inside. Now, back to the live training.
All right, so really cool stuff. Definitely want to be in there if you want mentoring, if you like this stuff. You're going to love it. Okay, Mo says, how quick could I get results if I jump on it today? Well, if you write an ad today, you could get a click today, and if you get a click today, you might be able to get a sale today. So technically, it's up to you. Like, how fast do you want results? What do you want to do with the results? And everything like that. Let's see. One of my cameras is being funny. Is that glitching? Yeah, that one's glitching. Okay. All right, cool. So, any questions? We'll take a couple of questions as we get going. All right. We'll take 5 minutes or so for questions. And we'll go from there. If you guys do want the notes, we will have professionally written notes from this video by our writer. Our writer is awesome, and she does a good job. So if you want those, get in marcusmentor.me, and you guys get notes for everything. If you're still waiting on a book, just put in a support ticket. Jackie handles some of that stuff, and then we are changing the way we do the books and the shirts because it's gotten to be a bit of a pain in the ass. So watch for that, and there will be some new stuff that you can use. But that's marcusmentor.me, and it's an insane deal. Like, if I could teach you to write one ad, it totally pays for itself. All right. And you can cancel anytime. If you ever want to cancel, just go to PCMoneymaking.com. And you can cancel right on there. We don't want you to stay if you don't want to stay, but I find that most people stay a long time because it's like, do you think I could teach you to make $2.30 a day? Like, yeah. If not, then why are you here? Right? That's kind of the deal. Okay, High Ticket Niche is a program where we actually find your niches and everything. You can find that at highticketniches.com. If you want to learn about all my products, you could go to affiliatemarketingdude.com, click the products tab. You'll see what products we have available. Okay, Shelly says, I would like to request a training about how to actually post an ad on Google or Bing. We actually have one, and it is in the mentor area. Okay, did my new person go to Full Sail University? I don't think so. I went there too. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's right down the road. I think it might be, they might have more campuses, but there's one right down the road. Okay, you can make a video about swag problems to avoid based on your t-shirt. You could do that. All right, so any questions about ads, let me know. And then just ask yourself, am I willing to let a measly $77 a month stop me from learning things that I know could make a difference in my life, that I know could help me make money? Again, results not typical, implied, or guaranteed. I don't know what you'll make, but how many of you guys see the difference? How many of you guys see the difference? Like, you already in an hour became better ad writers. How many of you guys became a better ad writer? You feel like, you're like, yeah, I became a better ad writer in just this 1 hour. And imagine what it's going to be like with everything else. Lower abs, ask that on the Tuesday webinars. Just hop on the Tuesday webinar and we go over your sites and everything. All right, cool. All right, guys, so marcusmentor.me. Go there, get yourself signed up. If you want notes from this, we're going to have professional written notes. It'll be like a little book. She's going to do a good job. We'll also have some examples. We'll have some ad things. We'll have little forms you can fill out for ads. So like this part where we went through this, we're actually making an ad writing generator that's going to be part of that class. So definitely get in there. I mean, if all else fails, just go in and do that. But marcusmentor.me, learn to write ads because ads make money. Plain and simple, ads make money. I wonder why this camera is being funny. Let's try turning it off and back on. I'm going to fix this camera before we go. Come on now. All right. Cool. So, can I apply these techniques to video ads? Yes. In that course, we will show you how to apply them to video ads. So that'll be cool. So yeah, marcusmentor.me. Get in there, make it work. Cool. I think the cameras are a lot clearer using this new method, which is cool. Okay, other ideas. What was it? Other ideas for the traffic you got on the click the body you want banner? Yeah, we'll go over those ideas on the live call. Okay. Kyle, yeah, get in the mentor, depending on when you bought. I mean, usually you get like some mentor time with your course, but I don't know when you bought, so you might want to get in there and do that. But every one of my students, like if you're a student of mine and you want to learn, marcusmentor.me is key. And here's the deal. A lot of people don't like to read, and what I do is I read like a maniac, and like this whole shelf here is about ad writing. Well, we have our little doc there. He's pretty cool. And then we have that from my late uncle. He was a film guy. Then we have lots of books, and I've read all these books, which is really cool. And these are all about marketing, advertising, all kinds of stuff, and a lot about psychology, right, which is really cool. So, lots of books. Right? Oh, it goes all the way down there. Advertising books. I got some other advertising books like Ogilvy, $1 Million Mailings, Ogilvy on Advertising. This is one that's really good. Go through. Talks about advertising. But really cool stuff, guys. This is, I mean, this is stuff that's taken me 20 years to hone. So really, really cool. All right, guys, any last minute questions before we get going? Let's see if there's any other good ad books. I know I was reading one the other day. Capels is good. But again, like you're going to go through, and 3 books is going to cost you about $70. Actually, the Ogilvy one, I think, is $50 on its own. And for $77, you can learn a good overview of what I've learned from all of it, which I think is a good deal, right? So cool. Okay, awesome. Troy says, so excited to get my high-ticket niche up and running. Thanks so much for caring for us as you do. Awesome. Thanks, man. Glad you like the stuff. All right. marcusmentor.me. Get yourself signed up. Join the ad class. Let's teach you to make money writing ads. And now I got to find where the end button is. Talk to you guys soon.